Hello and welcome to My Security TV. My name's Chris Cubbage and we're at AusCERT 2012, an information security conference here on the Gold Coast. I'm joined by Mr. Ian Yip, Identity and Security Management Business Manager for the Asia Pacific for NetIQ. Ian, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Chris.
Ian, some of the IT security issues that organisations are facing now throughout the Asia Pacific, can you maybe take us through what NetIQ is seeing?
Well, we're seeing the same trends that we see all around us at this conference and in the media tend to be cloud, mobility, bring your own device, reduction of budgets. They always say that, but even more so nowadays given the issues some of the countries around the world are facing, and particularly around increased risk awareness. The high-profile events we've seen in terms of the data leakages that we've seen from in the US, from Sony, from some of the payment providers, especially when they lose millions of credit card numbers, they're starting to take precedence over some of the other things that we're seeing our customers in terms of what's front of their mind and how they behave when they spend their budgets with security vendors and providers.
What's NetIQ's strength in terms of helping these organisations?
We're about providing an identity-centric view of things because the old school way of thinking about perimeter is kind of changing. It's not completely gone, but it's a different way of thinking about things. So it's really about identity, and our strength in the past has always been about identity being at the center of things. So couple that with a proactive approach to putting down some foundational security, and also in conjunction with the reactive measures that can ramp up a lot faster. We provide a lot of visibility and real-time security intelligence, or as we like to say, actionable security intelligence, so that you can do something in near real time before your company becomes front page news for all the wrong reasons.
I suppose that's the real challenge for organisations these days, is to keep their identity and access management systems running at near to real time as possible. What is NetIQ offering in terms of maintaining that?
So we offer solutions around identity and access management as well, which is where our real strengths lie from a foundational standpoint. But from a reactive, near real-time visibility standpoint, we have our security suite of products. They branded our Sentinel family of solutions, which include our Security Information Event Management, or SIEM, tool, in conjunction with file integrity monitoring to ensure we know exactly what people are doing on systems and are able to track it back to our identity, and also be able to monitor endpoints to ensure that you don't have those vulnerabilities or that they're patched to the right levels. And we find that putting that rounded solution together allows you to get that visibility end-to-end and also react in near real time.
And I suppose all that suite of products enables organisations to start to deal with bring your own devices, BYOD. What are some of the challenges for BYOD, or bring your own devices, for organisations?
In terms of what BYOD is bringing to the surface, it's not really anything new. What it does do is it puts the onus on IT security teams to think a little bit more about what they're trying to protect, and it's really at the crux of it about protecting data. In the past, people have tried, or organizations have tried to protect their endpoints, and that's no longer enough, because if you can't protect the endpoint, you can't control the endpoint, then you need to take a step back and actually figure out what it is you're actually trying to do. And all along, not just now, but all along, it's really been about protecting the information you have, the assets you have, and BYOD is bringing that to the fore in forcing organizations to look at how they do that without relying on being able to control the devices, the endpoints, whatever else they may have, accessing critical information resources in the environment.
So NetIQ is assisting organisations to identify their critical data and protect that as well?
Critical protecting data and information is really about ensuring the anomalies that are happening are picked up. So number one, identity, know who you are. Number two, know what people are accessing currently, what they were accessing last week, to be able to pick up any discrepancies, and to round that all off, ensure that you have processes and compliance measures in place, risk management procedures in place, to be able to control the process and also to have good due diligence in maintaining the access to the critical information that you have around the place.
In terms of cloud computing, what have you seen at NetIQ in terms of the take-up of cloud, and what are the real challenges for companies that are moving into the cloud?
So in terms of cloud, strategically, it's a common term people use. You take any sport analogy, you don't run to where the ball has been, you run to where the ball is going to be. So our strategic view is to make sure we're there, and we're certainly having solutions in the cloud space. In terms of the customers I've talked to, what cloud's really done is it's turned IT sort of upside down, where the onus is on the security teams and the IT teams to almost play catch up, because I've seen a lot of situations where the business has gone around IT and IT security to procure the infrastructure as a service type solutions, the software as a service type solutions, without knowledge of IT security. So this term shadow IT has been around forever, is probably risen to the fore today, more so than it has in the past. And IT security teams need to be in the position to be able to react to it before it becomes a question. So what cloud's really done is actually allowed the IT security teams to pull back and focus on what they really need to focus on and no longer get in the way. So the cloud has allowed the IT security teams to look at being the business enablers they've supposedly had to be in the past by now saying yes instead of continually saying no. Because if you say no, you're looked at as a wall. So people will tend to try and get around you.
And I suppose the cloud is offering a lot more functionality and a lot more services now. NetIQ are in that cloud space?
Yes, we are.
What specific products and services are you showcasing for the cloud?
So in terms of cloud, we talk about identity provisioning as well. So we provision to the cloud, we provision from the cloud. In terms of some of the solution providers we work with around the world, we allow them to leverage our solutions for their cloud solutions to provide the identity access management layer. From an access standpoint, we enable the single sign-on federation capabilities through appliances, through software, again, through the similar models. And in terms of the whole management of the cloud environment, we have things like Cloud Manager and Cloud Security Service that are targeted at companies, organizations, solution providers that want to be that reseller or the provider of cloud solutions to their customers. If you think about it as an app store or an enterprise business app store for business applications, that's essentially what we're enabling companies who want to do a private cloud or a public cloud offering to manage the environment and provide that to their clients.
And what type of trends are you seeing there? Are you seeing a strong take-up, or are you seeing a gradual increase in take-up of cloud services?
On the region, we are seeing a very strong take-up in the telecommunications space and the solution provider space. So that's more the B2B type environment scenarios. In the private enterprise or the governments, we're mostly talking about private cloud. So if they were to deploy our Cloud Manager solution or our Cloud Security Service solution, they wouldn't be offering it to the external parties. It tends to be more the consolidation of different departments into one umbrella where they have a cloud or a private cloud managed solution where they would use our solutions to manage that internal system in terms of trying to figure out who to bill certain services to, how to do rates and those kinds of measurements, and do the proper costings that they need to do in the background, as well as have the security infrastructure in place through something like a Cloud Security Service, through our Identity Manager product, through our Access Manager product, to give the security requirements the due respect that they should have in the new cloud environment that they're putting in.
I mean, in terms of cloud computing, I can imagine that's where identity and access becomes paramount. I mean, it always is one of the most important, but even more so if it's out there in an open platform such as a cloud base. So all the very best for NetIQ, and certainly seen your brand around. It's a strong brand here in Australia, and all the best for the Asia Pacific.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, mate.